Green, then David Reagan, Trevor Payne, Martin Truex, Bobby Labonte. Those are the cars that did not pit.
Mike, you're probably the safest in the front, the way it looks. Especially listen to what Jeff Gordon had to say.
That's the 37 Robert Richardson dropping down out of line and lets them all go.
We're actually hearing that he's got to drop to the back of the field because of a pit road speeding penalty, Robert Richardson Jr. in that 37 car.
Well, you know, based on what Jeff Gordon said, the problem you have is this is a race. And some of these guys, when the green flag comes out, they race everybody. And that's what you get paid to do.
And as you say, Darrell, the safest place to be is out front, so let's get there.
Get on up there.
Stephen Wallace, a rookie, running in 4th place with one of the most experienced drivers at Daytona, Bobby Labonte. Now Labonte down to the middle and picks up Wallace's 77 once again. On the bottom comes Menard and Boyer coming through.
And not only is this his first Daytona 500, this is his first Sprint Cup Series start, period. Stephen Wallace in the 77.
His dad, Rusty, the 1989 Series champion. Jimmy Johnson's drive for 6 consecutive championships has hit a pothole. Steve.
And Jimmy Johnson sits in his battered race car. Mike, 14 mechanics working on this car simultaneously. About the only part of sheet metal that isn't bent is the rear bumper and the deck lid. Heavy damage to the right side and to the front of this number 48 car for Jimmy Johnson. He stays in the race car.
Since he won the 500 in 2006, he's not finished better than 27. Paul Menard back to the lead with help from his Richard Childress teammate Clint Boyer.
And Clint Boyer in that 33 car, he has been a great pusher all week long of speed weeks, whether it's been Paul Menard in the 500 or his teammate Jeff Burton in the 31 in the Gatorade Dual race.
Paul Menard looks like he's found him a new home. He's going to like that pretty well. He was with Richard Petty Motorsports last year. Now he's over here with Richard Childress. Slugger Labby is crew chief. Getting a pretty nice ride right now.
And up in the high groove, former teammates at DEI, Martin Truex and Dale Jr., the 56 and 88.
And Mike, it's pretty obvious those two have made a deal. They've been together in practice. They've worked pretty closely together. They're very comfortable with each other. That is so critical right now. Be comfortable with the guy you're running with.
Yeah, not only were they teammates, remember Martin Truex Jr. is 2-time Nationwide Series champion. His owner, Dale Earnhardt Jr. when he did it.
Some years ago, the two of them spent an awful lot of time racing each other on video games. Down to the garage, Steve Burns.
And Michael Waltrip walking through the garage. 2 Daytona 500 victories, but it won't happen today. What happened out there, Michael?
Well, I just didn't get the information soon enough. You know, I'm pushing David against him a little bit, but he said, give me some room, and I was giving him room, and then right at the last second, he said, gotta go low, gotta go low. And then all of a sudden, you know, we're sideways. So same thing with Kyle. He decided at the last second, he said, I'm going up the middle. And when you change directions, pushing in the corner, it's just a recipe for disaster. So as a driver, I'm frustrated. As an owner, it's expensive. But as a fan, this is a Daytona 500, and I can't wait to go get on my toolbox and watch those boys battle. This is big-time stuff, the biggest prize in racing. And I got Martin Truex. I got one more bullet. Let's go see if he can get it done.
Thanks, Michael.
Truex right now running in 8th. I think the surprise of this whole week, as we watch Truex and Jr. and on the outside, McMurray and Montoya, is that black number 78 of Regan Smith, the former Rookie of the Year from Cato, New York, near Syracuse. He drives for Barney Visser in a car that's prepared by Joe Garoni and crew in Denver. Not Denver, North Carolina, near Mooresville and Concord, where the rest of these teams are, but Denver, Colorado. And they come down here and they push Kurt Busch to victory in the qualifying race. And Smith has shown he can work with anybody and he can keep his car up front. Now, last pit stop, the car that Smith pushed to victory on Thursday, Kurt Busch, had some issues. Matt?
Mike, it was a chain reaction of problems. Busch slid through his pit box. He backed up. He stalled the car. And then when he refired, watch the rear tire changer. Jonathan Billy, he goes to work. When Busch refires, there's a flash fire, catches him in the face. He backs away. loses a couple split seconds, and then he'll go back around like a true professional he is, hits the lugs on that right rear, and continues to work on the left rear. True athletes down here on pit road.
And what he did, he stalled the engine, and there was a lot of raw fuel in that exhaust pipe that ignited when the engine refired.
Good thing those pipes come out the right side.
Of the 12 cars that went to the garage in that lap 29 crash, one has returned. Jimmy Johnson. Let's take an inside look at what's happening now in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, brought to you by Sprint and HTC Evo 4G. Clint Boyer has the fastest lap of the race, just over 200 miles an hour. And the biggest mover, who started out back, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has gained 30 positions since the drop of the green. Fuel your inner NASCAR fan with live in-car audio and real-time stats. Available on NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile and the new HTC Evo 4G, only from Sprint at sprint.com/speed.
You know, one of the things that we are all concerned about, I know I was the weather today. It's going to be hotter. Man, we got a gaggle going across here. It's going to be hotter. It was going to be, this track gets slicker. And we've talked about grip down here for the last 10 days, but today I got to believe the track's a little bit less grippy than it's been in the last several days.
Dave Blaney driving for Tommy Baldwin and Al Hankey on, car in the wall, front straightaway. And it is Richardson, Robert Richardson, into the inside wall, coming toward the start-finish line. And that will put us under caution for the 5th time.
Yeah, tied off the corner.
I just think that's right back to what I was saying about the track. I think it's given up some grip that these guys have had down here when it's been at night, been cool. This place gets slick in the daytime.
Single car crash for Richardson. Matt Kenseth will get the free pass. He'll come around and pick up one of the laps that he is down.
But, Mike, you just mentioned it. He's leading it right now. Dave Blaney in that 36 car just had taken the lead. This was a team and a driver that had to wait to the second dual race to see if they were even going to make the Daytona 500. They came down here with no sponsor on that race car. Just got this sponsor done last night.
Here's what happened to the 37. Robert Richardson. Oof.
Sure glad they put that safer barrier down along that inside wall there, because we've had a lot of people get into it.
Hard hit. Travis Kvapil is the car behind. And this is the second caution in a row, watching from our Fox Exmo extreme slow motion cam, where we've had one car trying to help another and instead taking them out of the race.
Yeah, that's actually teammates right there. Robert Richardson and the other car that got into the back of him.
And in both cases, I think a lot of it has been the guy in the front had to get up out of the gas a little bit, or something happened with the car in the front. The guy behind him just runs over him.
In other sports, stealing signals from another team or listening to radio communication would result in a fine and an investigation. But here, Darrell, we have drivers not just talking to their own teammates on a second channel, but able to dial up other teams as well. Look at this.
You can see here, these are all frequencies in the radio for different cars. They've been working hard here. They got a number of radios in the car, and it's all because of this new style of racing we're doing here at Daytona. And Mike, this style of racing kind of reminds me of back in the day. Back in '59, they came here the first time. They said, "What's that thing called, the draft? What are they talking about?" What are they talking about? A two-car draft. Dick Berggren.
Trevor Bayne, the youngest driver with the oldest team, the Wood Brothers, is about to pit. He's going to take on fuel. They've got a tire on the wall. Whether that goes on or not, we'll see. Mike Schmidt, the gas man, only man left from last year's team. Matt.
Kurt Busch promised this time he would hit his marks right on the money. Fuel only for the 22. Krista.
The defending Daytona 500 winner feels like his car is getting just a little bit tight. He said he's not uneasy yet, but they're going to make a track bar adjustment one round up to give his car a better feel. Steve?
Krista, Greg Biffle just out of the garage, back out onto the racetrack. The team did a great job replacing the radiator in his number 16 car. Also, he has a lot of damage to the right rear of that number 16.
Thanks, Steve. And Bill Elliott, a two-time winner, assumes the lead in the 500 as Robert Richardson spins off Travis Kvapil's bumper to bring out the caution.